So many people we encounter seeking my help with a waiver filing focus solely on this elusive hardship letter. Many have been told by notaries or those trying to do it themselves, or heard somewhere on the internet that the hardship letter is the only evidence necessary or the most important for the case. This is completely wrong. The hardship letter is important because it informs CIS of what arguments you are trying to make, where the hardship is in your case. However, many make the mistake of just submitting a long letter, sometimes a few pages, sometimes upwards of 10, but they don't submit anything to support the letter. These cases are denied flat out. What a good attorney will help you with is to help you narrow down and focus your strongest arguments and help you assemble and instruct you on the evidence necessary to support those arguments. If you think an attorney is just there to help you write a hardship letter, then you don't understand what's really needed in the process. So how much documentation is needed for a successful waiver case, and what type of documentation will CIS look at? Providing documentation to support your arguments is essential. However, it will hurt your case if you provide the wrong kind of documentation. Don't try to hide weaker evidence in a filing just to bulk up the amount of documents you are filing. This will weaken the rest of the arguments and your credibility. Sometimes 2 or 3 strong arguments is all you need. There's no minimum or maximum amount of documentation necessary to pull off a strong waiver case. In my office, my submissions can range from 2 to 4 inches thick because the clients have worked hard to provide me with witnesses to speak to, and have provided supporting documentation I have instructed them to provide. We have smaller, but we have also larger cases. You always risk having too much documentation for the officer to read and must choose wisely what evidence is crucial to your case. In Mexico, for instance, if you are still filing there for the time being, officers typically have no more than 10 minutes to review your documentation. Not only does it have to be easily accessible and organized, but it also has to be relevant, or it ends up in the backlog for another officer to sift through when they have more time. CIS will accept many forms of evidence, including affidavits, medical records, criminal transcripts, financial documentation, research results, transcripts, and much more. Be creative, but give solid documentation to back up anything you claim. Typically, CIS will even accept documentation in support of a waiver filing up until the time the case is decided. The difficulty is figuring out when they will make a decision. It is always best to supply all your waiver documentation when you first file. Your strongest arguments first. A skeletal filing, one where just the hardship letter and a few pieces of evidence are submitted, risks the backlog in Mexico and outright denial in the U.S. Usually it is better to delay a waiver appointment or submitting a waiver until you have all your key documentation ready to submit at once. You will also run the risk of your new evidence being lost in transit once it is sent to CIS if you send it in later. There's no guarantee that it will actually get into the file to be compared and added to your existing previously submitted documents. Still, if there's a new argument that suffices due to an unexpected hardship, like someone, heaven forbid, develops a disability or runs into financial ruin, then it may be worth submitting more documentation at a later point. I am an expert in complex family-based immigration cases and have a 98% approval rate for the past 12 years. I am a nationally published immigration author and frequent public speaker on immigration topics. I regularly train other immigration lawyers on complicated marriage and family immigration cases for the American Immigration Lawyers Association, Federal Bar Association, and National Legal Education Providers. I represent clients all over the U.S., traveling to immigration interviews and deportation proceedings. Visit our website, humanrightsattorney.com, for more in-depth information and articles on complex family immigration issues.